It's March 26th. It's a Sunday. Um, I went to church this morning. I went to service. Yesterday was the St. Patrick's Day parade in Bayside, for which Newt Anthony III um, was with his pack in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and he marched. And I was on the sidelines and I taped the portion of the parade. It was raining. I was the weather for yesterday. Um, but yesterday morning, interestingly enough, I don't normally watch Channel 4, but I just caught very quickly and I taped it an announcement by the Episcopal Church, not Zion, but it references it's the diocese. They're making a public announcement there, and she says the exact words, so I'm not paraphrasing incorrectly. So I'm going to play that real quick.
Episcopal Diocese in New York, not only to atone for slavery as a whole, or attempt to, but to publicly acknowledge the fact that enslaved African Americans helped build this city and its churches.
As we gather together as the Diocese of New York to apologize for our institutional role and complicity in slavery and the legacy of slavery, perhaps the Feast of the Annunciation will show us a new way forward to inspire us to repair the brokenness.
The church also talking about reparations in the form of housing and education. Today's service was also scheduled to coincide with the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery, and that service begins today at noon.
So interestingly enough, I'm here, but yesterday while I was taping the route of the parade, I noticed a few things that really stuck out. Now, I don't have anybody, like, I don't have a big brother, big sister to ask these questions to that I'm aware of or that would even have the answers. But I noticed there's like this patterning thing between the Irish flag and the Indian flag, and then the Italian flag and the Mexican flag. I just noticed there's some color patterning that's interesting. I don't really know what it means. I mean, it stands for different geographical areas, but in the big wide world of things, it just makes me go, hmm. Because I've heard also that the Irish said that at one point they were enslaved. Again, the diocese for the Episcopalians, I don't know if it's a counting issue. They were speaking of African slaves. And again, I know that one word, depending no matter what the geography is, brings up a lot of anger, depending, I guess, on the gender or the whatever. So I stay off of other people's hot topics, or I try to anyhow. But counting issue for local, I was watching the parade as a mother of a son who was marching in it, and not really, like, I don't have NYPD. Like, I mean, I'm like, what do I say? I mean, as a ex-wife of NY, I'm a wounded warrior of NYPD. Like, I mean, I don't have anything against the whole institution. I just there's this weird, and their like city service, which is really important, and now they want one of my possibly children to be brotherhood, and I'm, well, where does that leave me as a wounded warrior of like I don't know. So I don't really know how that goes. I don't know if spouses are for life, like in that protection unit, or if there's some, I don't know, like it gets confusing. So, especially since we don't really communicate, I mean, I try to keep it whatever. So that's that. I don't have any firemen that I know. Um, and so Boy Scouts is really like my only way to get my son, I suppose, back into some, I don't know, trying to find our way around here. So as the it's not like Patchogue. Like Patchogue had a mayor that was in a town hall. There was village services and a building of a town hall to go to. Like it was, I could self direct a little. And then the art council found me, which was nice. But then again, I was in the village as part business owner and immersed amongst that civic society, or I don't know what you call it, business community. So it was a lot easier for me than coming to Queens and Bayside. I find without a town hall, like that real pillar of strength in the community, of like a central location to like house the organization and like the lifeblood of a community. I like Patchogue had. I mean, like, again, and not the and I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying it's just as a newbie or like someone coming back in, even when I was in high school entering Bayside, it was just like ghost town. I mean, at 30 whatever when I came back, it also again was like a ghost town. I never figured it out in the 90s, and I certainly have not figured it out thus far, although I'm trying. Um, so, anyhow, I'm watching as they come down, and I'm noticing a few things. One is I was pretty sure that Irish, Irish, I went to Ireland. We called them Irish while I was there. Um, we went up and down the coast. We drove up and down the coast of Ireland. I know what the bed and breakfast and the working farm as we drove in the scenic route. I remember mostly what they looked like um, and what they sounded like with their brogue. Um, and then coming back to New York and watching the Irish, Ireland, or the St. Patrick's Day with the Ireland theme. Um, there was some people with a sash that had something written on it, mayo, Mayo, and I'm like, now what the heck is a mayo? I mean, like, there's mayonnaise. I've heard of that before, but that's a condiment. It's in the refrigerator and Hellman's produces it. Although for a while there was some Cool Whip, but again, that gets whatever and whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, so, but I didn't know what mayo was. This morning I looked it up and it said Mexican American Youth Organization. And I'm like, what's that about? I mean, Mexican American, it's Ireland. Why are there people with sashes for Mexican American on there? That makes no sense. Then they had clubs that marched. One said I Ireland Jade, and I'm like, uh-huh. I think I kind of get the gist of what that might be. And then there's several different Knights of Columbus. I was like, there was a lot of space. I don't know what that was about. There were big spaces. Now, I mean, I know that they know what they're doing, but I don't know what all the space was for. And then there was this, but it was noticeable. And then some of the little, I mean, at first I thought it was there were little children holding the banners, and I'm like, maybe they lost pace. But then it happened repeatedly. I'm like, that's a pattern again. So on that, but then there was this section that was not playing bagpipes or Irish music whatsoever. It was very different in what's that about? Um, I don't know how it got in the parade. I don't know why it's in an Irish theme parade. Um, for an onlooker, if my son asked, I wouldn't have an answer. My parents were very confused. They didn't have an answer for me when I asked if they knew what that was about. But we all noticed that it was very non-Irish looking. We didn't know how it got mixed in to the parading of St. Patrick's theme. Um, Also without bagpipes and different music piped out of some speaker. It was strange. Um, and so that got confusing, honestly. So the Mayo thing was confusing in a Mexican American youth organization. Why do they have sashes? Again, I don't really know how that works. There's been like no real classes on this. I mean, in high school, I graduated from a city high school, private high school, nonetheless, private and uniformed, but they weren't explaining, and I was attacked in, let's just say, 95, 96, that year as well. I was also attacked in Nassau. So neither one of them on the security front were able to keep me whatever when I was in private school and uniform. But um, whatever on that. Um, but there was no teachings in either Nassau or when I got back to Queens about what this. I'm either like a Sons of England or an Irish descent. I really don't know. Protestant Catholic, I hear they fight over there. Over here, I really don't hear about it. But like, what do I need to know? Like, who's there to inform me is really the question. Um, so during the parade, those two, and on the sign of the music that was not bagpipes. It also had non English characters on it and non English words on it, which I had no translation for either in the calligraphy script of far and away. It's like alien type. I don't even know what geographical location that specific typographical anagram is from or ideogram. Um, but I'm just, again, like my head, like an idiom for me, if I'm the idiot saying it, my head's in the clouds, right? Yeah, no, for me, like it really is in the cloud because it's on YouTube now. But I have some real serious questions of safety and concern, and how do I keep myself safe? What's changing? And like, is there another fight going on? And I've already been attacked before several times, and then there's been no communication from whatever controls security ever, even discussing the attacks that I was already in and survived. And then just, it's like Harry Potter says, or even Divergent, the Divergent series, it's like memory wipe and put her back out in public and like out in the park, there you go. And it's like, right, no, but it's happened more than once, and I don't know my future. So Are there things I need to know? Because I would assume the answer was yes. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Ketter's, it's Earth, solar system, Milky Way universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.